In February 1895, Oscar Wilde had two plays running at once in the West End. He was the most celebrated playwright in London. By November of that year, he was prisoner C3 at Reading Gaol, breaking rocks in a cell 6 feet wide. A new prison governor allowed him something rare inside those walls: 1 page of paper a day. Every page he finished was confiscated on the spot. Between January and March of 1897, page by page, that became a 50,000-word letter, his longest, and one he was never permitted to send. In the spring of 1895, weeks before his arrest, Wilde had sued his lover's father, the Marquis of Queensberry, for libel, and lost. The son was Lord Alfred Douglas, whom Wilde called Bosie. The case exposed Wilde's private life in public. He was arrested within days. Private acts between men were themselves a crime under the law of his era. He was convicted of gross indecency and sentenced to 2 years of hard labor, the maximum the law allowed. For his first year at Reading Gaol, Wilde was kept in near total silence. Nothing to read, nothing to write. Real change came only in 1896, when a new prison governor allowed him paper, 1 page a day. He used it to write a single, unbroken letter, addressed to Bosie. Each page was taken away the moment he finished it. There was no way, inside Reading Gaol, to post a completed letter to anyone. He began writing in bitterness, not knowing where the letter would end. These are his own words. "Suffering is one very long moment," he writes. "We cannot divide it by seasons. It seems to circle round one center of pain. For us there is only one season," he writes, "the season of sorrow. It is always twilight in one's cell, as it is always twilight in one's heart. 3 more months go over," he writes, "and my mother dies. No one knew how deeply I loved and honored her. Where there is sorrow," he writes, "there is holy ground." By its final pages, the letter has stopped sounding like an accusation. It reads like a confession, and then something closer to peace. A spiritual testament, written by a man with no way yet to send a single word of it. Then, at last, on the 18th of May, 1897, Oscar Wilde walked out of Reading Gaol a free man. For the first time he held the complete manuscript in his own hands. Nearly 50,000 words, written 1 confiscated page at a time. He did not mail it to Bosie. He gave it instead to Robert Ross, the one friend who had stood by him through the trials, and asked him to keep it safe. But Wilde would never publish a word of it himself. He died in Paris in 1900, 3 years after writing the letter. In 1905, Robert Ross published part of it as De Profundis, cutting nearly every line naming Douglas or the Queensberry family. He deposited the complete, unabridged copy with the British Museum in 1909, sealed from public view. For 57 years that censored fragment was the only version most readers ever saw. The complete letter was not published in full until 1962, 65 years after Wilde wrote the last page. If a letter can wait 65 years to be heard whole, it deserves a moment of yours right now. If this one has reached you, take a second to like this video. The man the letter was written to, Lord Alfred Douglas, lived until 1945. He always denied ever receiving his own copy, and whether he saw it in 1897, decades later, or never in full, is still argued by scholars today. What is certain is this: Wilde wrote 50,000 words, across 3 months, 1 confiscated page at a time, to a man who may never have read a single one of them. Today, De Profundis is read as one of the great prison letters in the English language, not despite never being sent, but partly because of it. If you want more of history's real letters, written, sealed, and sometimes never delivered, subscribe to the Letters We Kept. In the end, a letter forbidden to send still found a reader, just never, for certain, the one it was written to. If this letter moved you, like this video, subscribe for more of history's real letters, and tell us below. What would you write if you knew it might never reach the one you wrote it for?